All right. Good morning, everyone. This is the Real Agent, Elite Agent Mastermind here. We're kind of piggybacking on another one that we do also. So we have a few other folks in here. This morning, we've got Lana Rodriguez. She runs an amazing team out of Colorado. She has done an amazing job with client events, with building referrals, with all of that. We're happy to have you. Lana, how are you doing this morning?
Good morning, everyone. Joe, thank you for the introduction. I'm doing great. I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be alive. The kids are taken care of, and let's just count our little blessings. That's all what life is about, right?
It's important every day. You got to do those gratitudes.
That's right. That's right. Should we get started? Do we want to do some, do you want to chat with the audience? How do you want to do this?
I mean, we can basically just get started. You know, I prefer everybody, if they can, turn their cameras on. It's always better to have some interaction, see some smiling faces, all of that fun type of stuff. But yeah, we can really just get going. This is, you know, really supposed to be very interactive for everyone. So if there is any questions or, you know, anything along the way, feel free, jump in, put some stuff in the chat, or just literally unmute yourself and ask away.
Yeah, and Joel, so Joel was kind enough to let me prepare a presentation, which I
Right.
did, but it's not going to be death by PowerPoint. I'm going to try to make it as interactive as possible, so bear with me. And if you guys want to jump in and interrupt me in the middle of this and ask a question, or put a question in the chat, that we will allow some time for the end of this call so we can answer it. Does that sound okay? Okay, friends, can you wave at me?
That'd be fantastic, Lana. If you can also just tell us a little bit about your business, that will give us a great start. I'm familiar with you and what you do and some of your expertise, but I'm looking forward to learning more.
Oh, Austin, my pleasure. Absolutely. I will not leave you guys hanging. I'll tell you who I am and how did I ended up here. And believe it or not, all the systems and little tools that I will share with you, it's actually everything that we implement within our organization and that works effectively. And some of those things may be very simple and like a bit silly, but it works. So if you trust me, I will deliver.
Sometimes it's those basics that work the best.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. All right, team. So I'm going to go ahead and do the screen share. Bear with me as I figure out the technology. 1 second, please. Okay. All right. And here we go. 1 second. See, good thing I'm great at selling real estate and not technology. Otherwise, I would be in trouble. Just being fully transparent here because we're all friends.
That's right.
All right, friends. So the cover of this presentation is called Dominate Your Competition with a Referral-Based Business Model. That's something I teach also in Real Academy once a month. But today I have adjusted this PowerPoint, just focusing on client event experience a little bit more. And let's go ahead and get started. Can you just wave in your video to make sure you hear me and see me okay? All right. Awesome. Awesome. All right, team, let's freaking go. So my name is Lana Rodriguez, and I'm coming to you all the way from Colorado Springs, Colorado. What do we call America's backyard? A little bit about me: 5 years with Remax, 3 years with Keller, and just in August 2022, we joined Real Broker. And just between you and I feel like I'm home. I'm very happy where I'm at, and I'm a huge advocate for everything we're building at Real. And I had a very humble beginnings. As friends, you guys can see, this is a picture of me and my newborn daughter in 2015, placing that Remax sign in a yard. And I was running and gunning as a solo agent for 2 solid years. I did not have much help, just a part-time TC. And I was forced to bring my mom from Eastern Europe to watch over my child, because when you're running and gunning as a solo producer, you know, daycares, local daycares cannot support your schedule. And now I'm privileged to run and operate small but mighty team in Colorado Springs. We have currently 10 agents and 4 support staff. That's where we're at. And I operate the business with my husband, Brian Rodriguez. He's also active agent, and he's kind of focusing on commercial side of things. And we are both rainmakers for the team. So meaning we kind of generate and bring majority of the business. And a couple highlights of my business endeavor. In 2016, I did 119 transactions as a solo agent with 0 paid leads and a part-time TC. By part-time TC, it means I got somebody who was just doing TC services out of state because I did not know any better. And currently we have served over 1,500 families, and we are a little bit over 500 billion in production, of half billion in production. Geez, I can't even talk this morning, so bear with me. Thank you for your patience, friends. All right, so before we jump into the topic of client events, I want to talk to you about something very, very important, and it's going back to basics. Some of you already heard of me preaching that, but I want to reinforce that again. So Q1, it's ending, we're entering Q2. It's the time to organize your database. Because if your database is a hot mess, newsflash, everything you're going to try to create and build on, it's probably not going to be very successful. I want to challenge you to perform audit on all your past clients. And the audit can look as simple as you getting into CRM and maybe printing out an Excel sheet. That works really, really well for me, because see, I know how my brain functions, and me and Chime are not best friends. I'm just fully disclosing that. So I have somebody on my team who handles Chime and you know, all those type of things. But I when I go through all my clients, it's very easy for me to look at an Excel format. And what we do once a year, me and my client care manager, we sit down and we just go through everybody who bought with us in the past. And currently we have 500 families living in Colorado Springs alone. And we're just kind of checking, are they still with us? Or did they wander off and sold with somebody else? Because let me tell you, friends, when you're working by referral, you take every transaction and every referral opportunity a little more personal. And that will be me. So for example, last November, December, I took this up on myself, and I took this list at home and I was just working it on my own pace. And I have discovered that out of 500 families, we had 10 families who wandered off. And I'm the kind of agent who actually going to reach out to those people and ask, hey, excuse me, why? Just explain me why. I understand you were part of our real estate community, and what can we have done, you know, right or wrong? And one of the sellers listed with open door. Believe it or not, they were on the market for almost 200 days. And I'm like, not my problem. Hello. Another client wandered off with a friend who just got nearly licensed. And that's fine. It happens. And a couple other people, you know, somebody worked with one of our top producers on a team who's no longer a top producer and no longer on our team either. So it makes me wonder that maybe there was a gap in communication or things like that. But when you do that, you will feel so much more in control of your client database, and you're going to feel healthy, and you're going to feel excited, and you're going to know how to tackle that further. And very, very important thing, and that's a silly part of this presentation, at least gather everyone's birthday, home buying anniversary, and any other significant date. Friends, you will be surprised how many people in our industry, and I'm talking about us on this call, are not gathering this very simple, important information and not tracking that in the CRM. And you will ask me, Lana, well, what do you do with this kind of information? Well, first of all, and why do we even do that? Why to take your time to organize your database, right? So first of all, the health of your database identifies by these 4 simple letters, A, B, C, and D, okay? Your A's are your raving fans. The people who will refer you with any kind of opportunity that comes their way. They immediately, when they hear word real estate, they're gonna think of Joe or Lana, and they're like, yeah, use my girl Lana, she's the best. Okay, so those are your A, raving fans. Your B's are most of the time people who kind of did a transaction with you, who bought or sold with you. They know you're a good agent, and those are the people who know, like, and trust you. And then there's C's. Your C's are your acquaintances. So the people who know who you are, but they're not necessarily referring you yet. And then there's D's. D's stand for delete. And let me explain. So let's say you have a great neighbor, Nancy, and she's been a great sport and referring you multiple transactions and everybody in the neighborhood. Ooh, Nancy's husband gets licensed. You can say bye-bye to that relationship, because now all her referral opportunities are going to be filtered to her husband. So should you still market to Nancy and give majority of your time and resources? Absolutely freaking not. So this is the delete. So when you identify these people, you're going to be more in control. And here's our aha moment. Start planning your conversations and touches accordingly. And by what I mean, so let's say I'm in Starbucks, and Starbucks is having sale on these cups. And I buy bulk of these cups for pop buys. Pop buys is when you bring somebody item of value and kind of like, hey, I just been in your area. I'm thinking of you. Here's a Starbucks cup on me, or whatever you're going to do with the pop buys. So you can pop by your raving fans like this. It's not going to be awkward. They're going to be excited to see you, and they're probably going to give you a shout out on Facebook. You cannot do the same to your C people. You cannot, because when you're going to show up at their doorstep, they'd be like, I think you're Lana. What the heck are you doing here? Is this, how do you even know my address? It's going to be super awkward. So when you're going to start developing your referral business opportunities and client touches, just start thinking, because the things you do for your A/B people is not necessarily what you do for C people. The same thing when we invite to our client events. My client events, sometimes if it's a big event, it's open for public. And sometimes I will invite my C people, but majority of my client events are focused to my A people and B people, because number one, once again, I'm a firm believer, marketing myself and my organization to the people who know, like, and trust me, because I think down the line, the return is going to be much, much greater. All right, team, moving on. All right, so creating raving fans. I want to shift your focus on this particular topic. So creating raving fans comes in different shapes and forms. And for example, here, number one thing, what we all need to be focusing on is providing memorable service. And don't be a basic agent. You guys heard of that basic agent syndrome? So there's so many basic agents in our industry, and it's our job to make the reputation of the real estate industry better. All right. And then of course, post-transaction follow-up for life. You will be surprised how many consumers are out there who do not even remember their agent's name. Here's, I challenge you for this little exercise. When you go into the social setting of some sort, when you are not surrounded by realtors, meet somebody and just have a small talk. Hey, how are you doing? Where do you live? Oh, by the way, I love that area. Hey, oh, by the way, who was your realtor? And watch, do they know that realtor's name? 50% of the people will be like, I don't remember their name. And it makes you understand that those people are not following up for shit. Okay. And that's not going to be us. It's not going to be you and I, because we're on this call and we're going to learn together. And then of course, friends, I want you to start focusing, show them who you are. Don't be a secret agent. And by what I mean, like right now, social media platforms are our online resumes. And if you think that people or consumers, future prospects are not checking you out, you are wrong. I'm guilty of charge. I will tell you, anytime somebody comes into my life, maybe it's another agent or another consumer or a vendor, the first thing I'm going to do is go check out their social media platforms. This is before I'm going to start Googling their ads. Okay. And simply you will see how much information you can get out of that. So your clients and your future prospects are doing the same thing about you. All right. The same thing about you. So please don't be a secret agent. And see, the gurus say 20% of your content should be real estate posts. And then 80% of the content should be who you are, showing your personality, showing you are a family man or you're a pet lover or you have hobbies, because people connect to people. All right. And of course, I want to talk to you about creating your BNI group. BNI group stands for Business Networking Group or whatever. Very early in my career, back in my Remax days, I was told you need to get plugged into one of those business networking groups. And this is like a group where there's one realtor, one attorney, one massage therapist, whatever, right? And I tried. Friends, believe me, I freaking tried and I couldn't, because there's always one of those real estate spots is occupied by the realtor who sits there for years, probably doesn't even contribute to the group. And I'm like, I'm done. And that idea kind of died out. This year, we decided to reinvent this particular idea, because we have right now downtown office location in the middle of Colorado Springs. Took us 4 years to get there. It was very early stages and things like that. And I'm like, well, we have the space and we have client community. And out of our 500 families, we have business professionals within our client community. And what I have decided to do to host LRG client business networking mixer. So my own business networking, but within my client organization. Okay, this is a true screenshot of this particular event. It happened about a month ago. And we have 2 levels on the office. We have the main level. That's where you see the first photo. This was a mingling hour. 2 hours. That's all you need to do, 2 hours. And then I brought everybody downstairs for a bit of a more strategic introduction. We went around, everybody introduced their business and said one thing they're looking forward to accomplish in 2023. And then before everybody left, I left them with a book. I'm a firm believer in tangible items. So something they can actually take home and maybe put it on their desk or, you know, their office. And then think of me, oh, Lana Rodriguez, my real estate professional, gave this to me. And since they're all local business owners, I thought they all can use the help with influencing and a little bit of social media. And of course, word of mouth marketing. And every time you host something for the first time, either it's going to be your business networking mixer or a client appreciation event, it's scary. It's scary because you don't know how it's going to go. You don't know if people are going to show up, but you just have to try. You just have to try. And we had to turn around about 25 people, all local business owners, because see, I expect all these people to refer me because I'm their realtor. They all did transactions and business with me. And I use most of their services myself, and connecting these people was so powerful. So I want you to take a note, and I want to encourage you to possibly do this within your client community, because I can promise you, if you're going to start learning your database and who's who and what do they do, you're going to have some business owners as well. And I know some of you are thinking, Lana, well, what about if I do this with just local business owners in my area? I'm like, go for this. You can. But just once again, remember, marketing yourself, people who know, like, and trust you. And like with these people, I'm their only real estate friend, agent, contact. If you're going to start bringing outside people of your organization and your client community, most likely they already have other real estate contacts. And most likely you're going to spend time and resources, and you may be going to be top of their top 3, top 4, but with your clients, you're always number 1, always number 1. Joe, wait with me. Is this helpful so far? Are we doing good?
This is absolutely phenomenal. I mean, the networking groups are so important, and it's a referral machine. I mean, that is literally what the groups are built for, and everybody that's there knows that. And that is so powerful.
Yes, sir. Okay. Well, Joe is approving for me to go forward. So let's freaking go, because I have a couple more slides for you, friends. All right. So very important. Now, once again, some of you are like, tell us more about client events. I promise I will. But this is the basics. This is the basic system things that going to help you to craft your client experiences and client events more successful. So platforms to communicate with your database. Okay, Facebook is number 1. I'm a firm believer in Facebook, and I'll tell you why. Out of these 4 or 5 platforms I have listed here, Facebook is number 1 primarily because it's a two-way communication tool. Let's say I meet Joe at the networking event. I'm like, Joe, this is awesome. I would love to keep in touch. Let's go ahead and connect on Facebook. Most of the time it's a yes, unless Joe is completely like against Facebook for some odd reason. So the minute I friend request Joe, he's going to accept it. We're going to be embedded in each other's worlds. He can check out my profile. He can see what's going on in my life, what kind of production or business I operate. I can do the same about Joe. See, then second is CRM. If you are running a real estate organization of more than 1 person, or even if you are a solo producer, you have to have a CRM. And bottom line, we have to have our shit organized, friends. Okay, it's just how it is. And CRM, see, you input your people in CRM, and CRM offers you emails and drips and things like that, but it just goes out there into the, into the online world, and your client may respond, may not respond. You cannot even see if you can even track accordingly if they receive that communication. Then, of course, there's Instagram. Okay, don't get it twisted. It's a millennial platform. Right now, Instagram is one of the most hottest platforms. But Instagram, it's still that, post picture pretty platform where you like post cute pictures. So if you and your family are fighting the flu or COVID, you're not going to be posting that shit on Instagram. It's probably going to be Facebook, right? And see, if I meet Joe at the conference and I'm like, Joe, I would love to connect on Instagram. I follow him. If he does not follow me back, he's never going to know who I am. He's never going to be part of my world, because you kind of have to make sure people follow each other on Instagram. Monthly newsletter. All of you 29 on this amazing call, I encourage you to start thinking and crafting your monthly newsletter to, number 1, your client community and maybe your real estate partners as well, right? And we use MailChimp for our monthly newsletter. We don't do it through Chime. MailChimp is very super easy and super affordable as well. So that's where our marketing gal, she drafts it, she sends it to me for approval. And what do we have there? Local happenings in the area, a little bit of market stats, a message from me, if I have time to record it, couple client, save the dates, things like that. And why do we do this? Do people care for it? I mean, some people do, some people don't, but it's just one of the touches to stay omnipresent within your client community. And of course, there's BombBomb. BombBomb is a very, very techy video platform. And the reason why to use it, to consider it, especially if you're trying to do a lot of email communication and email marketing, it gives you the tool to record yourself in a very nice message on your screen. And it sends out an email with a bit of a meme of you, where you're like, when you receive a BombBomb from somebody, it looks kind of funny when it arrives, and it forces you to click on that message and see what that person has to say. And don't quote me on pricing. I think solo or one account price is anywhere from like $600 or $700. That's how much it was last few years. But BombBomb it's very effective, especially if you are a big email person. Definitely look into BombBomb. All right, moving on. All
Lana,
right.
I want to
Yes.
jump in on a couple things there on that last slide.
Yes, sir.
Facebook, something that people should be doing. You know, one of the first slides that you had was talking about gathering birthday, anniversary, and one other life event. That life event you should be getting from Facebook. And people need to stop, as agents, liking posts, pick up the phone and call that person, or send them a DM. You know, get in front of them in a different type of way, be more active with them. And then along the lines of a monthly newsletter, we actually just started doing our monthly newsletter on a weekly basis. And I had a bit of an epiphany from something that Sharon had actually said at one point, that your newsletter and your email is essentially another form of social media. And everybody consumes information in different ways. A lot of people are on Facebook, a lot of people are on Instagram, but there is a huge opportunity to hit people through email marketing that is wildly impactful. And we've been doing it for about a month now. And the results that we've seen have been absolutely tremendous with it. So I would recommend, don't think email newsletters are dead. It is a great opportunity.
No, that's awesome. And Joel, what platform do you guys use for your email newsletters?
So we actually used to use MailChimp, and we just moved over to SendGrid. We've got a really large database, and MailChimp was it was pretty expensive for the number of emails that we had going out. And SendGrid, as it turns out, actually has, in my opinion, some better templates. And it's a little bit nicer looking. So that's definitely one that I would check into. Cost was definitely less as well.
Will you please put it in the chat exactly how to spell it? Because I will need that at the end of this call.
And Eric, he just asked a question in the chat. Something that we've been really doing for our email newsletter is essentially using our social media and recent posts that we've done. So literally the last one that went out, I had shot a reel about ADUs, the accessory dwelling units, and how important those are and how impactful they can be. We turned that into a blog post, which then went into the newsletter, as well as we're typically putting in there some local events and all of that. And then, you know, check your home price, those types of things as well. But we're really trying to make it be a little bit more personal and include some video in every single one of them.
Yeah, dude, I love it. I love the idea of actually, because sometimes we just sit there, me and my gal, we're like, okay, what are we gonna like? We have to like squeeze the information, just put it in there. But yeah, just go back to your social media because we all post on. This is genius. And whatever the Joe said, remember when I said don't be a basic agent? So when you see your consumers, you know, consumers' birthdays on Facebook, don't just go on their wall and type something, hey, happy birthday, because they're going to get bombarded with the happy birthday messages, and your message is going to get lost. The best way, and how do I know that, is because I had a birthday in January, and the messages that stood out to me when somebody took their cell phone like this and said, hey, Lana, I want to wish you happy birthday, and then send me a small video. It was such a big differentiating factor. I was like, wow, this person really, really care. So start thinking of maybe doing that, or even have a slide into their DMs and send a simple happy birthday message. But do not use a copied template, because actually the same agent at a different brokerage, she sent me happy birthday twice with her template. She even forgot to add my name. It was just like, hey, you, ... wishing you happy birthday. I'm like, okay, lady, you're not that busy. You can do a better job wishing somebody happy birthday. But this is just I had to kind of
We actually just had Jesse Peters. He's an agent up in Winnipeg on, and he is huge on that. It's the whole surprise and delight. Something that he told me, which was wildly impactful and has been working really well. If you have an iPhone, so when you send them a birthday video message through text, send that message, and immediately after you send that message, simply write happy birthday. When you write that, the new iOS will prompt you and it will say, would you like me to add this to your calendar? Now that birthday is in your calendar for every single year and there's no way to forget it.
Wow, this is a great tip. I'm gonna have to either update my phone or buy a new phone. I think I have
Well,
one
it's
of those.
simply just writing happy birthday, and it will prompt you. It's pretty cool.
See, and that's why, friends, we come to masterminds like this to learn
Right.
from amazing pros like Joe. This is great. All right, team, moving on. Let's go. Okay, so your secret tool, and I know 30 of you on this call, I know half of you do not have that for your client community. I'm just putting it out there because this is something you all need to be implementing in 2023. It's your secret tool. It's a private client Facebook group, okay? Once again, Facebook, I'm a big fan. And private client Facebook group, that's where you add all your clients. At the end of every transaction, whatever your system is, for example, our transaction coordinator sends out detailed email. Thank you for closing with Lana Rodriguez group. Here's a couple links to check out, and joining this group is one of the links. Also, I'm currently at 5,000 agents on Facebook, and I believe all of you should be about the same time, about the same count. And I encourage myself and my team always, when somebody works with our team, add them on Facebook. And I'm going to explain you why. Because, friends, Facebook is no longer that platform where we keep it for privacy options or just for my own little family. No, Facebook is a very, very powerful tool, and we all need to use it. So private client Facebook group, we currently have 900 members there, and it's myself and a couple of the team members are the admins and moderators. And who do we add? We add past, present, future clients, anyone who did a transaction with their team. Also, if there's a referral who comes into our organization, we script it and say, hey, would you mind if we add you to our client group? You're going to see a couple of resources coming through weekly. You may have questions as well. So it becomes as a communication hub that you are solely in control. Any message you post in there, your clients are going to have to see it unless they opt out and remove themselves from the group, which happens very, very rarely, right? So there's communication, as you guys can, if you and I are Facebook friends, you'll see I post a little bit on Facebook, a little bit different things on Instagram, but there's certain things I want to communicate to my client community, and I'm going to be posting it there. Let me give you an example. So here we have Riley Olson thanking us for helping her celebrate the baby coming soon. Riley, you're so welcome. We have Sherry thanking us, bringing her a little meal and appreciation for her kid arriving. Now, how do you think we know that, friends? Do you guys think all these ladies called me personally, like, Lana, I'm about to have a kid, or I just had a kid? Absolutely not. So when we add our clients into the Facebook, when we friend them, I personally watch everything what's going on. And the minute I see my client announcing something and screenshot it, and I send it to my client care manager, she knows exactly what to do. So that's how we are the first people to recognize their special occasions, especially here locally. And if you're not, because through CRM, you're never going to know. On Instagram, they may or may not post it unless they're not active on that particular platform. But on Facebook, people post and share their stuff, the good, the bad, and the ugly, right? And now Riley is sharing with our client community that, hey, thank you for celebrating. And it brings that the community aspect. There is more. Here's Lana sharing about client event coming up 5 days away, okay? Because this is, remember, it's for my A and B people on my Facebook. I have probably A, B, and C, and probably some Ds that I need to delete. So I don't want necessarily everybody seeing it on Facebook. So that's why I strategically post this in my client community. And not a bad interaction, 33 comments, 71 likes. Okay, I'll take that. Okay, Lana is also saying, hey, our Easter brunch, only 1 hour left. Come, we would love to see you. And then party starts now. So friends, if you are confused about it, let's talk about it offline. I promise you this is going to be very, very crucial tool within your client community and how you can manage your client database and how you can communicate effectively. And I want to take a little pause and I want to tell you, friends, some of you may be thinking, Lana, because I'm going to be sharing a couple more things with you. And you're like, Lana, did you kind of figure that out all on your own? And no, I'm a firm believer giving credit when the credit is due. And my credit goes to Brian Buffini. I'm sure some of you know who Brian Buffini is. He's a fellow immigrant from Ireland. He's also a coach, and he's a former Remax agent. And his thing was always calls, notes, and pop buys. Where very early in my career, I have discovered that making calls and converting opportunities via phone calls is not going to be my way, simply because I have an accent. And when I speak on the phone, my sales pitch goes down. I lose confidence, and because I start sounding foreign. So I'm like, I'm not going to be doing this. And it's okay, because when you identify your superpower, you can get so much more stronger doing what you're really, really great at. Okay. And calls, it was not going to be for me. We had our share of notes. Trust me, I wrote so many handwritten notes. And pop buys, I remember delivering items of value. I'll show you a couple of slides on that. And then the client events. The client events was a big aha. And I'll explain you how we got to client events on a mass level and how it all grew. Because actually we took the client event concept and I was like, this is genius. I think we can monetize on it. And that's what we did. But before we go into the client events, I want to talk to you about this super simple, basic tactic of recognizing your clients' birthdays and home anniversaries. Okay, mailers. Before COVID, before 2020, we actually had client care manager deliver little pop buys and little goodies to people's houses. Ladies get flowers and wine. The dudes will get like maybe Home Depot gift card and like little beer. It was crazy. But then remember, after 2020, we had to pivot and adjust. So then we went straight to mailing the coffee cards. Looks approximately like this. We either mail Starbucks or Dutch Bros coffee card. There's simple little card, birthday card or anniversary card, slapped in our team photo. Hey, don't forget who we are. And little cheesy sticker. I love referrals because, you know, cheesy sells, and small little note. And some of you might be thinking, okay, Lana, this is a bit insignificant, but no, let me tell you, our clients love it. Our clients love it. And they post about these little mailers on their social media and they give us shout outs. Here, you know, Helga is saying it's our closing anniversary. Thank you for thinking of us. For 4 years later, you're welcome. Thank my CRM as well. Becky Russell Thompson is saying here, super awesome surprise in the mail. Thank you for being a huge part of the home ownership. Oh, you're so welcome, ma'am. Here's Tone. Another year older, another year thankful for Lana and her amazing team. Hey, I'm going to take this kind of praise all day long, because where do they post this stuff? Sometimes they send it to us, but most of the time they post it on their Facebook wall. And what's happening, that their sphere and their friends see it, your realtor sent you something? Because my realtor is not sending me shit. And here we even have Michael D. Chavez. They redeemed our Starbucks gift cards in New York. I'm like, mind blown. So friends, things like that, they work. They're very, very effective. And it's very, very simple to implement. And it does not cost a lot. Those gift cards are only $5. $5, one drink on me. All right. And then let's go into the topic of the client events. This is a picture.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, go for it. Hi, Mary.
Hi, most of my clients, and this is where I'm struggling a bit right now. So like 95% of my clients are people that I personally have already known. And so when I'm working with them, everything's great. They'll call me, but any follow-up, I've been told by quite a few of them that if I'm sending them something as a client versus a friend or a family member, they feel a bit insulted. So if it has anything that has to do with my real estate, so if I'll have a party, but I can't really, I had a neighborhood party and I talked to a few people and they said, well, you know, don't put your name out there. That's marketing. That sounds like you're not really concerned about them and getting to know them as neighbors. It sounds like you just want clients. So I've been, you know, I do all the stuff and I'm doing everything, but so much of my feedback is they're saying, don't market to me, just be my friend or my neighbor or my client, or I'll be your client. But I'm having a very hard time figuring out how to get my name in front of them, how to market to them without it feeling like I'm marketing to them. Do you have any, or does anybody else have that problem?
Does anybody else have a problem? Mary, this is a very sensitive topic.
Yeah, I do. This is Jim Jacobs. I as well. In fact, the biggest challenge I have in my business is balancing, are you my friend or are you my client?
Yeah.
And I have literally had one person quit using me. He goes, Jim, I thought we were friends. You just, treat me as your client. They ended up using a different realtor. Now that might say something about that person, but, and then one other person said, yeah, I've heard it several times. So I do that fine balance between calling them friends and clients. What my coach told me though is if you have done a business transaction with them, you have a business relationship with them and you have the right to market to them with real estate things because, they're a client. Now, differentiate that from other times, like when you have a party with all your clients, you don't call them your clients, call them your friends. So you kind of have to adjust to the medium of communication, what the message is and when and with whom, if that makes sense.
Yeah. It's just,
And I'd agree with that. I mean, it's it's a fine line. And it can be very difficult not having your appreciation for your clients come across as marketing. But I think it is part of our job. I mean, if we want to maintain steady flow of referrals, people need to, one, make sure that they know that you are still a real estate agent, that you're still in business. And I think two, we have to take care of them. And part of taking care of people is a lot of times one of the ways that we're able to do that is through gifting. Now, I'm not going to make all of my past clients take the love language test so I can understand how best to, make sure that they're thankful, but I think it really goes back to being really on top of your CRM, having really good notes on those people to make sure that you are communicating with them in the proper way. Is that more of a friend than a client? And like Lana said at the beginning, the A through D ranking, you could come up with a similar ranking that is for that. And like, in what level do they want to be communicated with?
yeah. See, all mine are A's. I mean, they're people that I've known forever, and now they're thinking, okay, I used you. That's great, but that's behind us now. I don't want to talk about that. Now let's just go to do everything else we used to do. And I'm like, okay, so I'm, anyways, okay,
I think you've built a really unique business in that, and that's something that I think you should be very, very proud of, because it sounds to me like the people that you're working with are your friends. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, your clients really feel that they are your friend. And that's something that I think is pretty unique in this industry. And maybe your thank yous and that type of stuff and any gifting that you do, it doesn't have your logo on it.
Yeah.
But you can still do it as a friend.
Yeah.
One thing,
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I know we have a lot to cover, but I wanted to just interject this. As many of us, we're not only their realtors, but we are their full service home ownership consultants. How many of our realtors depend on us, not just once they buy or sell a home, but how do they maintain it? What are the latest trends? So what I did is I developed a separate website. It's called Immobilien Concierge, which is German and French for home ownership services. And I'll put it in the chat, so if you want to look at it, but it's a resource that if they need contractors or if they need to maintain their home, how do they maintain their home? It's a seasonal guide. If they're looking to do a renovation, it has all the list of all the cities' contact numbers to do that. So it has been I started doing it last November, and it has really created awesome dialogue with my clients. So anyway, I'll type it in the chat if you want to take a look at it.
Yes, I do. Thank you. That's a great idea.
Austin, what'd you have?
I saw a comment in the chat from Sarah Firth talking about asking for feedback. A great way, Mary Sue, for you to deal with the friends.
Yeah.
They don't have to know that you have a whole bunch of friends in this newsletter. You could say, hey, I'm sending this to you because I'd love your feedback as a friend as to how I'm doing on my marketing.
Yeah.
That way they get exposure to your marketing and they feel like an insider and a friend rather than being prospected to. I love that, Sarah. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's great.
Thank you.
And Mary, you remember Joe said, like, going back to basics and organizing your people into A, B's, and C's, because you say they're all A's, but are they really? Because
Yeah.
I can tell you my A's, I can be as annoying as I want to be and solicit them with buy a house, sell a house. They will never get mad because they love me for who I am. They understand that I'm in real estate. So maybe half of those people that you are mentioning about, they may be a bees. Okay. And that's okay, because I promise you, if you do that exercise within next quarter, you will see that, okay, you know, this particular family, they love me. They're going to come to everything. But just to kind of try to think about it that way. And also one thing that we did at our team is yes, client appreciation events, blah, 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 but we call this a community. We call our client database and client freaking numbers community. So when we ask somebody to be part of this, would you want to be part of our community? And remember,
Maybe I'll say no. They don't, my friends don't Instagram, you know, they're very private. It's a different group. I mean, I've been doing this for 22 years and I've built up and I have a great base, but I think, you know, it's starting to, I don't know, some things change, but my friends don't Instagram. They're never going to put my, hey, thanks, Mary Sue on Facebook. I'm 53. I think that it's just it's like 10 years difference from what they'll do. People will definitely email me, but they would never put anything on social media about me or for me. This is not what my friends or my clients do, because a lot of my friends are even older than me, and neighbors. Most of them are in their 60s or 70s. Some of them aren't even on Facebook.
Yeah.
I mean, I think what I'm hearing from this most of all is you have the opportunity to run a very inexpensive business without gifting anybody and simply just picking up the phone or sending a personal handwritten note.
Yeah,
Without branding on it. And I think that is your bread and butter. And that is going to be the best way for you to not have people feel like they're marketed to.
just call them.
Yeah, just talk to them, just have conversations and be that friend.
Yeah.
Run a lean business. I love it, actually.
I have a zero marketing. I don't market. I have a zero marketing budget. I sent my first postcard in 22 years. I sent my first postcards out this past week or for St. Patrick's Day. So we'll see.
I think we should all strive to have a business like that.
Well, I don't know. It's stressful because you guys have all of this stuff and I don't have any of it. I don't even have an Excel file. I had to get one for this.
What
the hell?
Friends.
What?
I want to grow up and be like Mary Sue. What the hell? Come on. Didn't you say you were 53?
I'm 53, yeah.
I'm 57. What the hell am I doing wrong then? Shit. I've been in this business 25 years also. But anyway, this is a great topic. Hey, Lana, how you doing?
Hi, darling. How are you?
Good.
I'll stop now. Thank you. It's
Of course.
yeah. Okay.
Mary, I'll think on that and maybe I'll message you offline if I think of any other strategies. But if you stick around till the end of the call, there's another strategy that I will share with you guys that actually may be helpful. But back to client event topic. So this is a picture of my husband and Brian and I in 2015 hosting our first client appreciation event. I'm 5 months pregnant and I'm part of Remax, and this was the aha moment, and that's why I found this picture today and plugged it in here, because we were doing handwritten notes and we were doing pub buys and things like that. And in Colorado Springs, we have this little Brazilian joint. It's nothing fancy like Tucanos, or nothing fancy like Fogo de Chao. It's called Tucanos. It's a mom and pop shop. And I rented out a space over there for 40 to 50 people. And who did I invite? Some initial clients, some Sphere members and things like that. And it was a pay per person. I think it was like maybe 30 or $40 per person. And they usually came with significant others. So I filled that room and I was standing there and I was like, wow. So instead of me delivering pub buys for 3 days straight with my husband and newborn at home, or whatever, I can bring somebody into the one space and have a quality experience with them for 3-4 hours. I can have a calculated cost, and then I'm going to be meeting and greeting everybody and having the quality conversations, because I'm a host. Every time you host something, you don't get to enjoy the event. You're there, you're the first person your clients see, and you should be the last person your clients see. And that's when we started adapting client events one by one, kind of, probing if this is going to work, is this is not going to work. And now you guys can see that client events became a big culture of our team. Big culture of our team. Here you guys can see it's myself and my team members and our clients, and we incorporate my agents and their families. It's a whole team endeavor. Okay, so it's who we are. And right now, when somebody wants to join our team, they have to do a test out. And one of the test outs, of course, are interview processes. And we ask them, hey, come check out our client event, or come work with us, or with us, our client event, just to see how they adjust. Because see, I'm a firm believer in this. And if they're not gonna vibe with this, and if they're not gonna, drink the Kool-Aid about the client events, they're probably not the right fit for our team. And we actually parted ways with somebody about a month ago. She interviewed very well, and she missed 2 client events. And I'm like, okay, you can miss one. I'm sure shit happens. Okay, I understand. But when she missed the second one, I was like, hey, what's going on? She's like, well, I really don't care for these. And I'm like, well, I do. And she was gone out of our team within days. Now, moving on. So hold on, let me backtrack. This last photo where I'm sitting on Santa's lap, this is our annual event. It's called Pies and Smiles with Santa, but it didn't start it like that. And for some of you friends, one thing that I want you to do, I don't want you to get overwhelmed with this. I don't want you to get overwhelmed, because you can scale your client event experience as aggressive as you want. With my journey of the events also started with the pies. For first few years, I was delivering Costco pies to people's doors, and then the community grew. My time got shorter and shorter, and I started doing the pie event. But keep in mind, my clients, they're very intelligent people, and they know Lana is getting pies from Costco. So after a few more years, my attendance for pie event dropped, because they're like, okay, am I gonna go spend a weekend with Lana getting a free pie, or I can just go buy that pie? And my mind immediately is like, what can I do? So we added pictures with Santa, and we're providing this as a packaged complimentary experience. So you come take a picture with Santa, complimentary, my cost. You don't have to stand in the crazy lines at the mall or Dick's Sporting Goods. And then here's a yummy pie to take home. And now it's a bit of a, people are looking forward to it. It's very, very big experience. And I want to show you guys something. So this is my team last November giving out pies. So everybody came through, took a picture with Santa, and outside they're getting a pie to take home. Well, there were about 20 pies left. And at the end of the event, I took the list. I was like, I want to know who RSVP'd but didn't come to the event. And I had a list of people, and I'm like, why this person didn't come? Why this person didn't come? And we had a couple clients. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna deliver these pies to them, because I knew their personal stories. How do I know their personal stories? Because I'm Facebook friends with them, and I see exactly what they post about their lives. And this is actually some pictures of pop buys. So leftover pies from pie event. Pop buys look like this. The reason why I took a picture and left it on their door, because it was already late. It took me 6 hours. And when you are designing pop buy campaigns for your community, don't take this up on yourself. Maybe bring in an assistant or bring in significant other. And we will talk about support team here in a few. But this is why we do what we do, because this was the day I delivered these was Wednesday before Thanksgiving. I did not want to bring in my team because they had already plans for Thanksgiving and things like that. So I did it myself. But let me show you the power of these little deliveries and why we do what we do, why I do what I do. This lady, TT, I want to thank you to Lana and Allergy Group. I was literally in tears when I seen these pies on my porch. She had a complicated pregnancy and she could not make my event. Did I make her freaking night or what? Okay, we have Jennifer and Mike. Not only they got a pie, they also got a little bundle of a little celebration for their newborn kid. Way to make me cry. I just started my shower. And then of course, Vanessa is just super thankful that, she got pies from me. She's my A++ client. So these touches, when you think they may be insignificant and no one will care, people do. And things like that, if you do things like this for your client community, it's going to differentiate you on a whole new level than your current competition. Now, little change of subject. Why do we do what we do? Top of heart and top of mind. In 2020, we were scheduled to host big Easter celebration that we host every year. It's a bit of a tradition because the entire country was in a freaking shutdown. My brain was thinking, okay, so I went to Costco and I walked around Costco for a good hour and I came across these 4 cheese pizzas. This is me and my team. We are buying these these pizzas, or this is one of the runs. We had to do multiple runs. So in 2020, instead of doing big Easter client appreciation event, we still did a client appreciation event, but it was us delivering pizzas to our clients' doors. We delivered total 285 pizzas. Remember, 500 families, 285 people gave us permission to come and bring them pizza in 2020. And it looks like this. So four pack, and you slap on just a little sticker. Okay, so Mary, in your case, you know, you bringing the item of value. The value is in a pizza. The value of you showing love to your clients / friends, right? And of course, you have to have a little reminder. Hey, who's buying or selling next? Okay, because we are not charity. We're not charity. We're not giving out our shit for free. Nothing wrong with a little friendly reminder. Now, Mary, I don't know if you know Buffini and the Buffini cheesy Popeye tags, but those work. If not, please message me. I'm going to share with you some because they're so funny and people just love those. And see, Robin Pena is thanking us for making life easier. These people, thank you for amazing pizza in the park. So see, things like this, the client events doesn't have to be a physical space where you bring everybody now. That's a way to do it. But I just want to give you some ideas for 2023, because all of these were very, very effective for us. Okay, so now this is a slide for you guys to take a screenshot. Events to consider for 2023. Now, please take a screenshot. This is some simple ideas for you guys to implement. I'm not expecting you or not asking you to host every one of these events. You can pick and choose. You can do one a year. You can do 2 a year. You can do 1 every quarter. And as you guys can see, I have strategically highlighted Easter event, summer bash, pumpkin patch, and photos with Santa. Those will be my top 4 picks if I would have to choose and if I'll have to limit my options. We have Easter coming up. All of you on this call can still do something for Easter. Either it's Easter Popeyes or simply do an Easter egg hunt at the park. Bring in a couple food trucks, a slushy truck, maybe a taco truck. Bring in your sponsor. We'll talk about sponsors here in a few. Summer bash. You know, I'm a firm believer now that I have 2 little kids and I'm looking forward for them being out of school. I know my clients are looking forward towards the same thing. Do something for celebrate kids out of school, beginning of summer. Movie premiere works very, very effectively. And I'll show you guys a few slides. Out of all this list, pumpkin patch is the biggest attendance we ever had. And what we do, we go to the local pumpkin farm here, or local business owner who has a big field with attractions for the kids. And we say, hey, this is who we are. This is what we want to do. Are you game? Can you support us in hosting our client appreciation event? And most of the time it's a yes, because when you work with a local business, they're like, yeah, you're a local organization. I'm local. Let's support each other. And see, something happens psychologically in consumers' minds when they are done with summer. They're like, I'm done with summer, and they want to celebrate fall. And for example, last year we hosted 760 people in our pumpkin patch. My cost for the event was $10 per person. So my cost, $10 per person, cost me a little under $8,000. And what do they get? They get complimentary lunch because venue provides either pork sandwiches or hot dogs for the kids. And they all have a pumpkin to take home. Okay. And then of course, for holiday season, you can do the pies, you can do the pictures with Santa, you can combine both. So please take a screenshot of this and revisit later on as you start executing and planning accordingly. And this is just some examples. This is an example we hosted of Trunk or Treat. We have our office parking lot. It's a downtown central location. And I just brought in couple vendors who I have partnered with, like my roofer, my insurance guy, my lender. And I say, hey, all I'm asking you is to please decorate your trunk and bring candy for the kids. And I called it for my client community. See, the turnaround over there, it's not huge. Did all 500 families showed up? No. I think maybe like 200 people showed up or whatnot. It was a 3-hour event. And I called it Safe, Sensory Friendly Trunk or Treat. Okay, little bit of niche, but I have a sensory friendly kid. I know there's some clients in my community who have sensory friendly kids too. And it was very, very calm. People had a great time. Okay, here's another example of us at our Easter brunch with the Easter Bunny. Easter Bunny, you have to be careful because there are some who's gonna love and some kids who are gonna hate him. But this girl, she had a blast. Okay, so you can do something as simple as pictures with Easter Bunny at this beautiful venue on me, complimentary. And then this is Lana last June with our team, where we were hosting a premiere of Dino movie, and it's me dressed up, all the teammates are dressed up, and providing these cool experiences for your client community. Once again, the ideas, there's so many ideas that you can host. But this is very, very important slide. Please stick with me. Take a picture of the slide. Okay. This is a proper event invitation system. Very, very important, because I share this topic a lot, and a lot of my real estate industry friends, they get excited. They're like, I'm going to host something. And then they host and they call me. They're like, Lana, the turnaround was shitty. No one showed up. And I'm like, but did you do these touches? Did you do these at least 4, 3? I'm not expecting you to do all 5. If you do 5, great. Because let me tell you, friends, most of us are real estate professionals here. You know how we get bombarded with nonsense and spam almost every freaking day? Well, you have to understand that your particular consumer, your client, they do the same. They get bombarded from Zillow, people trying to farm their neighborhood, and also a bunch of spam on their email and social media. So if you're going to send them one client event invitation and you can expect them to remember it or comprehend in their brain that Mary's hosting something great, I'm going to be there. No. That's why these 5 strategic touches work so well. So number 1, we always do a client event in Facebook group. Okay. So when you create something on Facebook and you invite people, Facebook kind of helps you down the line to promote this, because they send automated invitations on your behalf. And it's super awesome. Number 2, remember I told you I'm a firm believer in tangible items. Well, we print and mail invites to everyone's house. It's a touch number 2, because this is what's going to happen. They're going to open the envelope. They're going to see the invitation. It's either going to go in the trash or it's going to go in their fridge. And when it goes on their fridge, they're going to be looking at it every day when they open the fridge or whatnot and thinking, well, Lana's hosting this. Should I show up? I mean, I don't know. But see, some of them may not be sold yet. And then visuals. All of us, most of us on this call, just like your consumer, visual person, they see that Mary's hosting something and Joe is doing something, but I don't know if it's worth going. But then bam, you send them the video invite of you. Simply, you can do it with your videographer. You can actually have your assistant or your significant other ask you to film you on the phone, or you can just do it simply in a selfie mode like this, saying, hey, I'm here at this venue. We're so excited to plan this client appreciation event or client experience. You can call it client experience or community experience. Okay, Mary, you don't have to say client appreciation, and just community experience. And we're so excited.
Friends and family event, Mary.
Yeah, Joe, friends and family, right? It can be like Mary's friends and family event, party, whatever. And they're like, wow, well, I was not going to go, but this venue looks dope. I think I'm going to show up. And then, of course, don't forget about good old email, because some of your clients may not be on social media, but they may be checking their emails regularly. And then, of course, I encourage you, personal touch always and always, because somebody not Lana never invited me personally. I'm not going to go, but I will invite you personally. And you're probably going to feel a little guilt trip not showing up. With our client community with 500 families, it's a little harder right now for me personally to reach out. So we use automated voicemails. There's a voicemail app record that goes out to everybody. There's also texts you can send out through Chime. But if you have, in Mary's case, definitely I would be calling each person. Hey, I'm hosting this. I would love your support. When you ask people to support you, it comes across a little differently, right? And of course, bonus point, friends, very, very important. Always have photographer or videographer present at every event to capture for social proof. Because why? Well, remember, if you don't have a social proof, it didn't exist. And of course, to create FOMO, fear of missing out. When you start doing these and when you start executing these on a high level, there are going to be some clients who'll be like, I don't feel like going. I'm not going to go. But then you're going to have a follow-up and you're going to send out another video or another, picture slide saying, hey, we had a really great time. Thank you for everyone who came out and supported us. And the people who didn't come, they're like, oh shit, that looks so awesome. I should have been there. And they're going to come to the next one. And of course, you can use that content for many, many repurposing ways for down the line. Joe, how are we on time? Are we still good, or do we need to cut it down short? You're muted.
We can run over. It's no problem.
Okay, as long as they don't kick us out. Okay.
Yeah, they shouldn't kick us out. We should be good.
All right, team. So moving on. Thank you for still staying with us. I promise you, I'm almost done. All right, so this is how our mail-in invitations for client event look like. Okay, they're a little loud, they're a little bright, but remember, I hope they would put it on the fridge and not in the trash, because no one likes to receive boring piece of mail where, you know, when we pick up the mail from the mailbox, there's a bunch of junk. It's like gray, white junk, and you're like, but when they see this, oh, okay, this looks kind of cool. You know, so ladies energy, LG ladies night, summer bash, Jurassic World Dominion. And I want to make a quick note. This is a summer bash that we hosted a few years ago. And it was a big event. It was also one of our most expensive events. And I wanted to provide exclusive client experience to all our clients. This is a brand new stadium downtown Colorado Springs, and they were just opening and they're doing these previews. And I was like, I'm going to get my clients there because I want them to have this exclusivity. But this is what happens. This is a corporate owned. So when you're dealing with a corporate owned business, it's not easy. And they start bombarding you with these secret fees. We signed the contract, and then we wanted to make a couple of tweaks, and each tweak to the event or to whatever we're doing cost us extra money. So that particular event was 25 grand. Okay. Also, Colorado weather is bipolar. So it was raining half of the event. So some of our people got wet. Some of the kids got wet. It was a big mess. People still had fun, but will I do this ever? No. I will go to that local business owner in a pumpkin patch because you're negotiating with one person and they usually don't change things up on you. This is just something little note for you to consider as you start planning and executing. I remember you guys saw me with a dinosaur costume and my team in the dinosaur costume. This is the event, Jurassic World Dominion movie premiere. We particularly at that particular time, we rented out 6 movie theaters and they were able to come in and join us and be there and with their families, complimentary experience. Now moving on. This is something we're hosting this particular year here in a few weeks. And this is how invitation looks like. Please join us for our annual client appreciation event, Easter brunch. And see, in Mary's case, we were thinking, should we remove client appreciation event? Like, is this sounds too cliche? Do I sound like an old broken record? But see, no, because I still want my client community to understand why I'm doing this. You are my client, and this is my appreciation event for you. Now, I also know my client avatar. It's a lot of younger families with kids, or maybe some single or dual couples or whatnot. So I know this way of communication works with them. So that's why we do what we do. And you guys see on the bottom of that invitation, there's RSVP link. Very, very important. We did not start implementing RSVP till like a few years ago, because at first I was like, just come. And then one time we ran out of food. Yeah, ran out of food. It was not a pleasant situation. So now I bombard everybody to RSVP on time. We used to use Google Doc. You can create a very nice RSVP via Google Doc, but now we graduated to Eventbrite, also very user-friendly. But I'm like RSVP, because I want to make sure I have enough eggs for your kids. I want to have enough beverages, enough mimosas. So very, very important, especially if you are targeting these events to a bigger group of people. All right, something else we did. Here's another idea. So we had March 8th, International Women's Day. I have created an online client appreciation event for the ladies. It was impromptu. Well, actually, I saw somebody else do it, so I kind of simply stole the idea. Not like I reinvented the wheel, but I was like, there's no way we can do, pop buys to all our ladies in the community, even though that idea crossed my mind. But I'm like, let me go ahead and charge that count for Starbucks right here. And I sent it out to all my client community, to all the ladies. It was posted in the Facebook group, and also it was sent out in the email. And I said, for the next 24 hours, please have a coffee on me. Okay. And I did not ask for social media shout outs because my people are already trained. They know what I expect. And here, see Dana, active duty military member, LRG member. Thanks to Lana Rodriguez and PCS Colorado crew for Starbucks on International Women's Day. She posted in her stories. She has a very big influence in the military community in Colorado Springs, and who's getting extra clout? Us. So this is another idea you guys can totally implement, and super easy. You just buy online registration for Starbucks. You take that code, make your own marketing behind it, and why not? Okay, you can do this for Father's Day. You can do this for Mother's Day. Or you can do it simply, hey, I was just like, for example, Mary can do this, and it's like, hey, I was thinking of you. I appreciate you as a friend. Have a coffee on me. Bam. Your people are not going to say no to a free coffee. Okay. All right. Another client event we did, and we've been doing this for last few years. Let me just explain the strategy behind this. So every June we host either either that stadium event or a movie event. And then months of July and August are a bit of a weird month. People are traveling through those months, and usually to host something in person, it's hard because your attendance rate is going to drop. So what we did for last few years, we partnered up with a local business, not Starbucks. I mean, we send out Starbucks cards because those are like very easy to use. But for this particular local business, I go out there and I negotiate with the owner directly. I was like, I'm a local business professional. I'm going to prepay the account or a gift card at your organization, let's say for $1,000. And I'm going to post this nice little poster within your organization, and I'm going to send all my clients to get complimentary treats on me for the next 2 months. Would you like that? And he's like, well, I guess. I was like, I'm also going to ask all my clients to give a shout out. In order to redeem the free treats on me, they need to check themselves in your business and they need to take a picture. Would you like this kind of free marketing and exposure for your organization? And it's always a yes. Yes. And of course, the prices over there are like very inexpensive. You know, it's a local business, local business, like $2-3 for a cup of ice cream or whatnot. But for the months of July and August, myself and that local business owner are getting exposure on social media. I encourage you to consider this as well. And it cost me like literally $500 a month. This is my cost. And because somebody's going to come, somebody's not going to come, but it works very, very effectively. And now, very, very important slide, friends. Who is your client care team? Okay. If you are thinking, okay, I'm going to execute this myself, I'm going to do this, I don't need help. Yes, you do need help. You need help because see, all of us, like myself and Joe, and many of you amazing professionals on this call, we're salespeople. We either are team leaders. We need to be focusing on our best, highest good, which is probably sales, marketing, lead generation for the team and for our businesses. So when you think you can also take on and executing on a high level your client appreciation events, please start thinking who's going to be helping you. For many years, it was my spouse, my husband Brian, who was active duty, was helping me with my ideas of client events. Then you get an assistant. It may be another team member, but it's very, very important that you start thinking who. And then I want to talk to you about leveraging your vendors and asking for support. Believe it or not, only for last few years, we started getting some financial support from our lending and other partners. I'm the kind of person, I hate coming to somebody and asking people for shit. Okay. I like, especially for financial support, it was not going to be me, but I was attending more and more conferences and I'm like, whoa, you have your lenders paying for what? For this and that? And I was like, ooh, my lender is not contributing anything. And it's very, very important. This is a big aha for this presentation. If you're going to be asking somebody for financial support, do not do it via text or via email. It needs to be in-person conversation. And how do I know that? Because I learned that lesson. I came back from this one event. I got so fired up and we sent out texts to a few of our vendors. And one of them was our home inspector, who that particular year, fiscal year, he did $50,000 off my team because we gave him so much business opportunities. He was our preferred guy. And we asked him for a little support for a client event. And the guy took this idea, like he took this and blew it up out of proportion in a bad way. That relationship was dead in 48 hours. Okay. Now, could I have taken him out to lunch and had a conversation like, hey man, I have this idea. We're going to be doing this. This is how it's going to benefit you. It probably would have went much better because when you ask people for financial support via text, it can come across different. So please watch your back and don't do that. And out of that list, lender, title rep, inspector, insurance rep, roofer, your lenders are going to be probably the most supportive. Instead of Colorado, your lender can pay up to 50% of your marketing event. Okay, up to 50%. Now, don't think it's going to be cash under the table. Usually doesn't work like that. But most of the time it's going to be they have to take it to their corporate or marketing and get it approved, and then they may approve it. But please start having like these conversations with your lender hey, this is what I want to do. This is how it's going to benefit both of us. What do you think? And you will see if he'd be like, yeah, of course, let me look into it. Or if they say, oh, I don't think we can do this. But how do you know? You haven't even asked your boss or your higher up. So just something to think about. And of course, title rep and inspector and insurance rep, they will support, but they will support at minimal level. It may be complimentary lunches or something like that. Don't expect to get a lot of support out of the smaller vendors. And then, so once again, here's an example of me, the team, we always wear matching t-shirts to show the sense of unity. This is a mom appreciation day event. And this is like early stages when Brian and I and my assistant Susie, it was 3 of us at some point running that. And then I want to tell you guys, when you host something, the branding is very important. Okay, it doesn't have to be in your face, but 2 things that we do, we try to do it on a consistent basis. We either bring a big banner, this that you guys can see that says Lana Rodriguez Group. Okay. Once again, we're not a charity organization. It's very important to remind your people who you are and what you do. Nothing wrong with that, okay? Because we are all self-employed and we work majority time by referral. And the support of your family and friends means everything to me. That's a little bit of a little script. And here we have, we were hosting another event at Olympic Museum, and I knew that everybody gonna want to take a picture by that little bobsleigh thing. I was like, well, don't mind me pulling a little bit of marketing behind it, because remember, marketing is key and no need to be ashamed of that. This is another thing this is one of the last slides, friends. If you're thinking, okay, this is great, but for example, in Mary's case, right? In Mary's case, when she wants to still market to her people, but not be in their face with selling. Well, these 3 things that I have found are very, very strategic. Current market value. Everybody wants to know how much their house is worth. They may not call you, Joe, asking, hey, Joe, pull up the CMA on my house. But I can promise you they're looking up their house value on Zillow or Redfin or Realtor.com, okay? So what we are doing right now with our team, when we audited our database and we know who's who and where is everybody at, we're sending them printed in the mail market analysis on their home that they're going to open it. That's going to be a tangible item. And hopefully our phone rings. I will let you guys know how it goes. We're just preparing it. It's a bit of a legwork because we have to do CMAs for 500 families. I will let you know next time we talk how effective it is. You can also do year or quarter in review. Let's say you had some exciting things happen to you, okay? You maybe moved brokerages, you did this X, Y, and Z. So combine it in a very nice letter and send it out to your people. And last but not least is letter of the heart. Letter of the heart. And I think, Mary, maybe for you, it may be a very, very great tool. My past real estate coach, she was like, you need to do letter of the heart. And I'm like, well, what am I going to put in that letter of the heart? Like, I don't have any hardships or I'm doing fine. But 2021 was a year when it was an interesting year for me and my family. Some of us were sick. Brian, my husband, Brian, who never gets sick, was so sick with COVID. That's when my son began discovery of his autism journey. And I was like, well, fuck it, let me just go ahead and just write it out and see what happens. And I wrote it down, and this is that letter of the heart right here. And I was like, oh man, I kind of teared up myself reading my own letter. I was like, well, let me just send it out. And you guys can see there is no marketing, there was no real estate script, there is no logo. It's a letter of the heart of what a year I had, which is simply signed Lana Rodriguez. And let me tell you how powerful this letter was. So it went out actually in December. We also attached our team holiday card with it, because I was like, I'm not going to do 2 mailers. I'm combine 2 mailers in one. And see, now I'm really trying to get out of production. I have my team who's selling full time. And there are some clients who I know who they are, but they never met me. So they know of Lana Rodriguez, but they never worked with me directly. My phone was blowing up. My DMs were full. My messages were full from clients in my client community who I never talked to. And they're like, hey, I'm reading your letter and I have my tears. Oh, I feel so sorry. Thank you for sharing. What can we do for you? It's such an incredible tool, friends, that each of you can implement this. Maybe not right now, but it may be end of this year, maybe next year, but I want you to keep this tool. It's very powerful in the back of your head. And of course, friends, last but not least, I'm ending this with my favorite quote. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And friends, connect with me on social media. I would love to help you if you have any more questions. And Joe, take it away. I don't know if you have time for questions or not, but I'm done.
We may have to wrap it up, but this was so very good. And something that I want to bring up with this as well is the fact that client events don't have to always be huge. And you've got a big team, you've got a lot of past clients, you spend a lot of money on them. Small personalized events are a phenomenal way of going. Wine tasting, cheese tasting. Paul, you're on here. You're a huge Minnesota Twins fan. Baseball games, inviting clients to very small events on a very specific day is a phenomenal opportunity to call through your entire database and invite each one of them personally. The chances of them being able to make it on April 16th at 7 o'clock is pretty low. You're probably going to find a couple people. So that now gives you an opportunity to do multiple smaller events per year and have a lot of personalized individual outreach to your clients. So huge client events, amazing, wildly successful, can be really phenomenal, but you can also do it on a much smaller scale. All right, guys.
I
Well,
agree, Joe. I agree. So was this good, friends? Did you get some good ideas?
this was phenomenal. This was really
It was
great.
really great. Thank you very, very much.
And Mary, I saw your comment. I will look up some stickers for you and I will share them with you. So let's connect. And I am so excited, and I'm excited for your journey. And I'll think about a couple of other ways of how you can communicate with your sphere more effectively without being salesy.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you, guys. We'll see you next week, in 2 weeks, whenever we do this again. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you.